Gentlemen, today I'm talking about masculine energy and love. So, in love and in masculine energy, there are a couple things that we want to think about. How are we showing up in love? How are we showing up in our masculine energy? Too many men, or a lot of men, think about masculine energy and they instantly believe it's not something society is ready for. It's not something my partner or my wife is ready for. It's not something that the world can handle. We need to start thinking differently, okay? Masculine energy is here to stay. Masculine energy is part of the world, part of the universe, part of the human spirit. We as men just have to know how to manage it. So, masculine energy does not have to only be angry, it can be very loving, it can be very supportive, it can be very humorous, it can be fun, it can be sharing, it can be a whole lot of things. We tend to associate masculine energy with all of the things that are negative. So, anger, right? And fighting and being stubborn and bullheaded, when masculine energy is so much more than that. So, we have to start thinking about how we show up as men, how we're showing up in our masculine energy. Are we supportive? Are we loving? Are we caring? Are we considerate? Are we compassionate? And if we get angry, that's okay. We don't need to fight. We don't need to throw things. We don't need to yell. We don't need to curse. We don't need to do any of that to show we're masculine or that we're men. We can still do all of those things in a loving manner. So we can love, we can support, we can be compassionate, and we can still remain in our masculine energy. Being masculine, being a man, showing emotions does not mean that we suddenly turn into this doormat, or that we suddenly don't feel anything, or that we suddenly suppress or repress all of the natural emotions that men have. So, what's happening today, or what has happened in the past, is we've been told don't get angry, don't get upset, don't show emotions, don't cry, don't be sad, don't be lonely. When men feel all of the same things that women feel those same things, men feel those same things, and all of them are natural and normal. We just have to look at how are we managing those emotions? How are we managing that type of energy? So if you're in your masculine energy and you want to be supportive and loving, be supportive and loving. And if you're in your masculine energy and you're angry, then be angry. You just don't have to be hateful. You don't have to be destructive. So there's a big difference. All of the associations that we make to masculine energy tend to be negative, right? So hateful, hurtful, destructive. That's not always the case. So don't allow yourself to be pushed into a box where you can't show the emotions that you have because society or someone has told you they're not acceptable. How are you accepting those emotions? How are you accepting those feelings? If you don't accept them, then of course you're going to assume that a society doesn't accept them. So the first step is you have to be okay with your masculine energy and showing the things that you show as a man. And that includes loneliness, sadness, anger. And of course, we manage the anger in a way that is not hurtful or hateful to other people. But we can't just ignore those emotions. We can't repress those emotions. We have to speak up. We have to say what we want. We have to say what we need. It's normal human standards. And we've just kind of gotten away from that. And we've been put into a position where many people tend to think, okay, well, as men, you need to act like this. As women, you need to act like this. All of that's changing. There are so many things that have changed in the last 15 and 20 years regarding marriage, relationships, masculine energy, feminine energy, gender, roles, the roles that we play in relationships, regardless of what gender. You could be two men and be very masculine and have roles of women in the household. You could be two women and have very masculine energy in the relationship. Or you could be a standard heterosexual couple and have the female have a lot of masculine energy and have the male have a little bit less masculine energy. All of these things are part of the human experience. We're all different and we all experience different things at different points in our life. So if you're the man and you have a little more feminine energy, that's okay. Part of that dynamic and part of that attraction, what attracted you to your partner, is the fact that there was an imbalance. There was an attraction. You were attracted to that energy that you have less of. She was attracted to that energy that you have more of. So we need to start thinking about what we want in life and how we can get it and what's going to make us feel happy, satisfied, and fulfilled, and stop thinking about what society is thinking, what's mommy and daddy thinking. We're thinking about mom and dad and we're 40 and 50 and 60 years old. At what point do we actually live for ourselves, feel for ourselves, get into relationships for ourselves, treat our partner the way that our partner needs to be treated so that we feel satisfied, we feel happy, we feel like we're supportive, we feel like we're helpful, we feel like we're appreciated. So instead of looking outside of ourselves and thinking, no one helps me feel supported, no one helps me feel appreciated, we have to kind of start looking at our own lives and how we fulfill those needs for ourselves. So what makes me feel appreciative? What makes me feel supported? What am I doing to support myself? What am I doing to appreciate myself? If I work all day and I come home, am I appreciating the fact that I've just worked all day and I provided for a family, and that's part of what fulfills me and satisfies me and makes me happy? Or am I waiting for someone else to tell me about it? Am I waiting for someone to tell me, hey, I'm really happy that you brought the money home today. You went to work today. You did all these things today that make me feel better. That's not always going to happen. And unless you're in a relationship where that goes back and forth and you're supporting and they're supporting, you're probably not going to hear that. So rather than just sit around and wait for it, start to feel it within. Start to feel like you're supporting yourself. You're doing the things that you appreciate because you feel good about them. I appreciate going to work every day because it makes me appreciate the fact that I'm supporting a family. You don't need someone else to tell you that. Where that comes into play is you don't do it for yourself. You don't appreciate what you do. You don't appreciate how you provide or support your family. You don't think about that consciously and say, yeah, I'm doing a pretty good job. You're waiting for someone else to tell you that. And if you don't believe that already, even if someone else tells you that, how does it really land? How does it feel in your body? Do you feel like, oh yeah, that's true. I understand that. I feel that. If you don't already have that inside, it's probably not going to mean as much when someone else says it. And still we're waiting for it, right? So get out of the habit of waiting for it. Just be proud of who you are. Be proud of what you're doing. Appreciate yourself and support yourself. And if you're not happy with what you're doing, then look at how you can change it. Why do you want to change it? What do you want to do? What kinds of things do you want to add or remove? Look at your life as a man, look at your masculine energy as a man, and start figuring out what you need to do and who you need to be for yourself. And then the other people in your life will slowly start to realize that and come together, and they will like you for who you are and who you are being, instead of the person that you're not being because you're hiding, or you're trying to be something because you think everyone outside you needs it. Comment below. Is this something that you're going through in your life or in your relationship? Always trying to please others, always supporting others, afraid to say I'm sad or I'm lonely or I need or I want? These are the things that are starting to change in 2025. Men are starting to realize we can't just do it all alone. We can't just carry everything on our shoulders. We have to do the things that help us, so that we're strong and then we can help our family, our wives, our spouses, our children, our parents, whatever it is. But everything that we want starts within. So start giving it to yourself. I'll see you in the next video.